And for all those joining us tonight on YouTube at Bellator MMA and Showtime Sports, we welcome you to Chicago as the prelims here now go to 3 5-minute rounds in the lightweight division. Introducing first out of the blue corner at 5'11", weighing in 156 pounds even as a professional. 16 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. Fighting out of Wolverhampton, England, presenting Tim Wilde. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'9", weighing in 155.8 pounds. His professional record, 11 victories, 5 defeats. He fights out of Phoenix, Arizona by way of Green River, Wyoming, Magic Mike Hamel. And your referee in charge, Rob Madrigal.
Magic Mike Hamel has won 4 straight.
Tim, you ready?
The experiment. Tim Wilde undefeated in his last 5. They touch gloves, the first of a scheduled 3 rounds in the Bellator 155-pound division. And when you break down the tape, John, you know that a guy like Mike Hamel against a guy like Wilde, he's going to want to use that striking to try to take the fight down.
Oh, absolutely. You know, Mike Hamel knows how good Tim Wilde is in the stand-up, and he's got a different type of stand-up. He likes to be bladed in a karate stance a lot. He's got a lot of power in his shots. Hamel knows I got to use my hands to get me in, get his hands away from his body so I can get into it and try to take him down.
Hamel told us you will see a typical Magic Mike fight with high pace, dirty boxing, and maybe some flying expletive if you're lucky. I'll let you fill in the blank as Hamel was going for the shot. Back take, now has back control on Wilde against the fence and puts in the 1 hook, figure 4-ing that right leg of Tim Wilde.
That was a great job by Hamel to close that distance. Now he actually overshot it, but came out on the back. This is exactly where he wants to be. He wants to be putting weight down on Tim Wilde, riding him heavy, creating all kinds of damage in the ground and pound situation.
They're creating all kinds of chaos right now with a scramble looking to get control, and there's Tim Wilde rolling right into north-south position. Beautiful job by Wilde escaping and delivering a knee on the exit.
That's what I was talking about with Tim Wilde. He used to be just a striker, but man, he can roll now and he can get himself back to where he wants to be.
And that's because he is hooked up with Renegade MMA, UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards and the like. We've seen his fight IQ increase, and as you mentioned, John, his wrestling has gotten better.
Yeah, you were so right, and he has made huge strides while at Renegade. He's so much better now as a fighter because he's complete. The real question, the one thing we know about Mike Hamel.
Oh, we know that he can deliver a right uppercut, and we know that Tim Wilde can take a shot.
Dang, that was solid.
Hey, it's Hamel that has the 4 plates in his face, but you gotta wonder about Wilde, what he has in that chin, maybe tungsten steel.
Yeah, I think it just bounced off of his chest, though. It didn't really catch the chin that he wanted. Yeah, right off the chest. I can see it in my monitor there, so.
Man, still, that took off the steam, but well-intentioned, and now Hamel fighting for the takedown. And again, the takedown defense being employed by Tim Wilde.
Great job by Tim Wilde there. But he's gonna have to do this continuously throughout these 3 rounds if the fight ends up going that far, because Mike Hamel, he has got an engine, man. He just keeps on coming. He never stops. It's one of the things that I love when I watch him.
That's one way to stop your opponent.
Okay, good. You ready to go? Good. All right, back up.
Wilde says he's good.
Time.
Fighting pride of Wolverhampton, England, and there's the replay.
And you see the side kick. It caught it just going down.
Oh man, and Wilde returns the right uppercut. High kick partially blocked by the wing of Hamel. Again, Hamel telegraphing the takedown attempt.
Yes, he did, exactly right. And that was why Tim Wilde was able to stuff it. And you can see how Tim Wilde, he's getting confident right now.
Yep.
Footwork, look
right
at him move himself back to the center of the cage. Nice lateral movement, throws his combination. He's looking really good right now.
Just past the midway point of the opening round, and more flow, more fluidity from the experiment, Tim Wilde. Hamel's feinting, wanting to get Wilde to bite.
He's feinting, but he needs to
Oh,
throw.
there's a left head kick by Hamel.
You can feint too much. You got to throw, because when you're throwing is when that opportunity to close that gap is going to come to you.
Final minute of the first. Pull cue jab from Wilde, and there Hamel deposits Wilde on his back into side control with 51 seconds left in the round, but Wilde trying to escape.
Very nicely done by Hamel to hold that position. Beautiful takedown. He held the position because Tim Wilde tried to roll through it. He brought him right back to where he wanted to be. He's in that side control position. See if he tries to either move him out or tries to pull it as Tim Wilde rolls, try to grab that back.
Under half minute remaining in the first round. Hamel 2 for 5 in the takedown department.
You saw Hamel, he stepped himself into half guard. He wanted to be
now in the
where he felt more control of the hips.
And there's Wilde looking for a submission. And there's the knee from Hamel. Fantastic first round between these two aggressive fighters. Mike Hamel, Tim Wilde, going to work inside the Bellator cage. Mike Hamel trains at the MMA lab,
let's go.
Phoenix, Arizona. Tim Wilde with Renegade MMA in England. And you heard from John Crouch, the longtime respected trainer at MMA Lab, a black belt under Royce Gracie. Had a chance to visit with them for the first time in many years, in such a class act and so cerebral when it comes to the art of fighting, and of course led Benson Henderson to all that success as a WEC and UFC champion.
You're absolutely right. John is one of the best people you could ever meet in this sport. Super smart and unbelievably good with the fighters that come out of his camp.
As we begin round two, there's that casting right hand by Wilde. How did you score in the opening 5 minutes? Lots to unpack there.
There was a lot to unpack.
Oh, beautiful combination by Hamel.
Very nice by Hamel. But if you look at the overall effect of everything, combining the grappling and the striking, Mike Hamel's the one that pulled that round.
And he's trying to pull Wilde down here in round two, really working hard to secure the takedown. In his corner, told him to relax a little bit, settle down in terms of expending the energy, even though, again, his conditioning is all of it.
I totally understand John Crouch saying, hey, just settle down, you know. It is Mike Hamel's style to put pressure and to just keep on coming at you.
Wilde baited with the Superman punch. There's a right hook to the body.
That is a very smart attack by Tim Wilde. Go to the body. If you want to slow somebody down, someone that brings a lot of pressure, that body attack will definitely do it.
Wilde started training Shotokan Karate when he was 8 as a black belt, and so you will see signs of his karate background in his attack as he avoids that right hand from Hamel, as he continues to utilize movement. Tim Wilde is Hamel with the whip on that attack to the lead leg. 2 minutes have elapsed here in the second. Pace is slow, just a bit more of a tactical affair.
What you saw Wilde actually biting on some of Hamel's feints. Now he's starting to settle in just a little bit more, not quite biting down on him, starting to just look and see when he believes Mike Hamel's going to come. Because the real effect here is Hamel doesn't worry about Wilde trying to take him down, but Tim Wilde has to worry about Hamel and when he's going to try.
Midway through the second round, and Mike Hamel's been credited with only landing the one punch thus far. And there's the kick from Wilde. So Hamel looking to get on track, and again leading with that right uppercut. Wilde right there in the pocket, continue to use that jab for management of distance, the range finder. 2 minutes left in the second.
That's a nice stiff jab by Tim Wilde.
Jab from Wilde in the right cross. Speaking of right crosses, we'll see plenty of those. David Benavidez, Demetrius Andrade, undefeated fighters on Showtime pay-per-view. 1 week from tomorrow night in Las Vegas. 1.5 minutes left in the middle frame. Lots of feinting by Hamel. Feints with the knee. Goes back to southpaw. Wilde now looking to get Hamel to bite. Hamel again, naked shot. Wilde trying to stay on his feet, but gets deposited down for the third time in the fight.
Hamel's gonna have to do some work here to try to make up a lot of the shots Tim Wilde has landed on him. You know, he is behind in my opinion, so he cannot just sit here, you know, holding position. He has got to get busy, start using ground and pound, or look for a submission.
Yeah, Wilde has outlanded Hamel 12-2 in terms of total strikes here in the second stanza, hoping to use the fence now as an assist to try to sweep Hamel.
Well, you can figure that there's been about 20 seconds on the ground, and you haven't seen really one shot landed by Hamel. He's been able to control position, but he's not been able to open up with any ground and pound. He landed a little bit of an elbow.
The struggle is real, as you can hear. The breathing, the energy being expended by both fighters.
And what you see with that leg, what that's telling you is Hamel's putting a lot of shoulder pressure onto Tim Wilde, and so that shoulder pressure, he's taking his leg, grabbing his arm, and pulling his arms to give a little space so he can breathe.
Third and final round, third and final, let's go.
One of the things that you heard at the end of that was John Crouch saying you got to use your feet, meaning that you cannot keep your feet still. You got to be using your feet to get yourself inside. Don't lean forward, don't chase forward. That's what Mike Hamel needs to do to get into Tim Wilde.
Tim Wilde with plenty of success with that full cue jab, fishing for the head kick, spinning wheel kick. Has been the wild card in terms of the total strikes landed on a huge edge over Mike Hamel. Mike Hamel trying to make up for it though, trying to land with bad intentions with that right uppercut from Wilde, but Hamel has to, as his trainer John Couch inferred, on start unloading, he's got to ratchet up the offensive output.
Really needs to start sliding those feet towards his opponent when he decides he wants to go. You've got to use your hands to set up the takedown.
Also hard to get an offense going when you got that sharp jab of Wilde and that long right-handed you with.
It's a lot easier to sit here and talk about it when you're not getting hit in the face.
And there was Wilde looking for a front kick to the face. There's a body kick from Wilde.
And you can see Wilde is always looking for that right uppercut. He's looking for Hamel to shoot in, put his head down, and he's looking to catch him on it.
Hamel looking to make some magic here in the third round as Wilde looks to keep his undefeated streak alive as well. Both of them come in with momentum in the Bellator lightweight division.
That was a nice low kick by
spinning
Mike Hamel.
Bounced off Hamel's gloves though. Long range jab. Low kick, chopping away at Hamel's lead, and he forces him to switch stances.
You heard the thud of that. That one was a solid shin to the leg kick.
His reaction says it all.
Absolutely.
Oh, and that one blocked Hamel. The head kick rocked Hamel, and Wilde going to work with right hands, but Hamel fights back with a right of his own and misses the wheel kick. So Hamel trying to retreat, trying to, right hand, down goes Hamel.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end at 2 minutes, 47 seconds into round number 3 for the winner by TKO, Tim